Hello guys, welcome to a new video. This video is going to be about a very spooky story, so I hope you sit back and enjoy. The moon hung low in the sky, casting eerie shadows across the abandoned mansion, nestled deep within the woods. The air was thick with a sense of foreboding, and the wind whispered secrets that sent shivers down anyone's spine who dared to listen. In a nearby town, there was a legend that had been passed down for generations about the mansion. They said it was cursed, that anyone who entered would be haunted by the spirits of those who had met a tragic end within its walls. Despite the warnings, a group of curious teenagers decided to spend the night there, thinking it would be a thrilling adventure. Sarah, the brave leader of the group, had organized the expedition. Alongside her were Mark, the jokester, Emily, the skeptical one, and Alex, the thrill-seeker. They gathered around a flickering campfire just outside the mansion, trying to ward off the cold as they exchanged ghost stories. As the night deepened, Sarah proposed they venture into the mansion to prove that the legends were nothing but tales spun to frighten children. The others exchanged uneasy glances, but none of them wanted to be labeled a coward, so they reluctantly agreed. With flashlights in hand, they entered the mansion. The wooden floors creaked beneath their feet, and the walls seemed to ooze a sense of melancholy. Dust-covered furniture lay scattered around, frozen in time. A portrait of a stern-looking man hung above the grand staircase, its eyes seeming to follow their every move. "I'm not so sure about this," Emily whispered, her voice trembling. "Oh, come on, Em. This place isn't any scarier than a haunted house at a carnival," Mark reassured with a grin. As they explored further, strange sounds echoed through the mansion, whispers that seemed to come from the very walls themselves. The group tried to ignore them, chalking them up to their own jitters. Descending into the basement, they stumbled upon a hidden room. In the center lay an old, weathered Ouija board. Sarah's eyes lit up with a mischievous glint. "Let's see if there's anyone here who wants to talk," she said, her bravado masking her own unease. They gathered around the Ouija board and placed their hands on the planchette. With bated breath, they asked, "Is there anyone here with us?" To their shock, the planchette began to move on its own, spelling out words. Helpme. The room suddenly grew icy cold, and a gust of wind blew out their flashlights, plunging them into darkness. Panic set in as their breath quickened. "Okay, this isn't funny anymore," Alex shouted, his voice shaking. Suddenly, a soft, eerie light illuminated the room. A figure materialized before them, translucent and ghostly. It was a woman in a tattered gown, her eyes hollow and filled with sorrow. "You should not have come here," she whispered, her voice a haunting melody. Terror gripped the group as they realized they had truly awakened something beyond their understanding. The woman's presence seemed to fill the room, suffocating them with a sense of doom. "We're sorry. We didn't mean any harm," Sarah pleaded, her voice trembling. The woman's form shifted, and the walls themselves seemed to come alive with images of the past. They saw flashes of the mansion's history. The woman, Elizabeth, had been falsely accused of witchcraft and had met a tragic end within these very walls. "We are trapped here, bound by the pain of our unjust deaths," Elizabeth whispered, her voice a heartbreaking lament. The teenagers were overwhelmed with guilt and fear, realizing that their curiosity had led them to disturb the restless spirits that dwelled within the mansion. As the night wore on, the mansion seemed to twist and contort, its walls melting into darkness. The group clung to one another, their pleas for mercy echoing through the spectral corridors. Just as all hope seemed lost, a distant light began to shine through the darkness. It grew stronger, dispelling the malevolent energy that had consumed the mansion. The figure of a man appeared, his presence commanding and powerful. He spoke with authority, commanding the spirits to release their hold on the living. The mansion trembled, and the spirits let out anguished cries before dissipating into the ether. The room returned to its former state, and the air felt lighter, free of the oppressive weight that had held them captive. The man introduced himself as a spirit guide, one who helped souls find their way to the afterlife. He explained that the group's remorse and willingness to make amends had been their saving grace. As dawn broke, the man's light faded, leaving the group outside the mansion's doors. The sun's rays warmed their faces, and the mansion now appeared merely as an old, abandoned building. The teenagers left the mansion, forever changed by their encounter with the supernatural. They had learned that some stories held more truth than they could have ever imagined, and that the boundary between the living and the dead was sometimes thinner than they dared to believe. And so, as the years went by, the legend of the mansion continued to be told. A cautionary tale of the curiosity that had led a group of teenagers into a nightmarish encounter with the unknown. So hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider hitting the like button and subscribe the channel. It would be very helpful to me. Thanks for watching. See you again in the next video. Till then, goodbye and stay tuned.